the shoes I'm in right now, and also be part of that tradition.
And who are you off the field? Like, what are some of your interests? What are some of your hobbies?
See, I don't really do much outside of football. If I'm not here, not a class, I'm at home. I got a little dog son out here. This is me and him every day playing video games. That's all I do.
What video games are you playing?
So obviously, like you know, college football. That's been my life the last 2 weeks. That's all I've been doing.
So what's it like playing? No Diddy. What's it like playing with yourself, like in the game?
I was definitely using USC to start out with. I don't know what I'm not playing for the most part. I only play certain packages, but still, like I have to rep my team, you know. And I think I've been pretty good so far.
And so the Olympics are going on right now. If today you could qualify for a sport, what sport do you think that would be?
See, my other love for a long time was basketball. Now I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but like I loved it growing up. My favorite player was Derrick Rose. I was born in Chicago, so I always repped him. So yeah, definitely basketball.
So how you like being here, you know, on the West Coast, you know, sun, beaches, and all those things?
Right, just off the weather alone, I told many people that I can see myself as like being a future home, just off the environment and vibes. But obviously, I don't have a car, so like I haven't really explored the way I want to yet. But I definitely love the vibes and energy out here.
And for those USC fans out there, like, hey, you know, tell us about, you know, the excitement that this team has to be ready to play some Big Ten football.
Right, obviously it's experience second to none. We're excited to go across the coast or across the country almost every week to go face top tier talent, and then we'll play the cards where it lies after that.
With you being a transfer and D'Anton Lynn also his first year, just in the few weeks and the months you've been able to be with him, what is the culture he's trying to shape, just not in the defensive line but the defensive whole?
Right, so I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's also a lot of principles and tendencies that he's trying to fill in our defense that we're going to be showcasing this fall. I know one is effort. Effort is above everything else. Even if you're wrong at assignment or a key, effort succumbs to all else. So doing that through our workouts, through practice, through indie drills, that's what we're really trying to focus on.
And as a defensive line, as a unit, what do you want your identity to be, especially going into the Big Ten where it's a lot more physical football? What do you want it to deliver?
That same thing. I have the utmost confidence in the world that we're ready and primed, or prime ready for, you know, whoever we face. But also that effort exceeds everything. If we go that extra mile, I don't think there's any opponent that we can't beat or face.
Boxing is a huge component of the Olympics. You have to choose 5 teammates to get into a fight with. Which 5 do you choose?
I'm not trying to lowball anybody. I'm picking everyone to be mine. So probably everyone that's in this room right now, I'll take Solo, I'll take Mill, I'll take everybody who'll be in here, including myself, me too. So
it's been a concerted effort for you guys to get bigger, and you put on extra weight. First off, how you carry that weight, how you feel with the added weight, and what do you see your role kind of moving forward, possibly to more inside role? Where do you see yourself inside?
Right, so I've been saying the same thing to other people. Yes, I have gained weight, but I don't really feel any different. I think it's been the appropriate weight, mostly muscle for the most part. So credit to Coach Riley and his staff for the strength program that I've entered here. And then my role is whatever Coach Henny and Coach Riley see for me. We'll see it as I come in fall.
And what would you say the critics are saying that we have some inside talent, but we don't have the depth? What would you say to people that are criticizing you guys inside?
I have not paid attention to any outside noise. I have the utmost confidence in this group, and again, we'll showcase that this fall.
Do you have more one-gap or two-gap experience going back to your time at Vanderbilt?
I've done both. So I've had, throughout my college career, I've had 4, I can't remember off the top of my head, 4 different line coaches, maybe 5. I've only had the same D-line coach in consecutive years once so far. So I've experienced a lot of different fronts, a lot of different formations, and a lot of different tendencies, things like that. So,
where do you feel like you gravitate in terms of a 1 or a 2-gap player? What are kind of the pros and cons of each of those for you?
I don't really have the pros and cons on my head. I think I'm comfortable with whatever my coach is teaching me. So whatever Coach Henny tells me to do, I think I have the confidence in going out there and do what he tells me to do.
Even though you haven't been here, you've got so much experience from your SEC days in Vandy. Have the guys been picking your brain at all?
Well, obviously I'm one of the older guys on the team, one of the most experienced. Yes, I would say so. Me and Mill have one of the oldest guys on the team as well as Solo, so we've seen the most ball, and I think we can fall back to our experience and teach these younger guys how to play the game the right way.
Tell me some of the things that you've been telling these guys when they pick your brain.
It's kind of really football technique specific related, which is kind of hard for me to explain right here, right now. But it's just things along those lines of how to get off the ball right, what are your keys, what you should be looking for pre-snap, things of that nature.
Some people would say that this move to the big is obviously, this is a tougher football conference. People will say that as compared to the Pac. You've been in the SEC. You talk to your guys about this at all?
No, our opponent's our opponent, regardless of conference. Again, we have utmost confidence that we'll be able to face any opponent we send our way.
What's the thing you appreciate most about Coach Henderson that we wouldn't know about him on the outside?
It's the realness, and obviously he has the utmost experience in this game. Being able to pick his brain and get all the knowledge that he's accumulated throughout his entire career. He'll let you know what you're not doing right. He'll let you know what you are doing right, and be able to fall back on that and develop confidence in someone who's taught the best is something that I desire every single day.
And I know obviously you can't give away strategy or anything like that, but can you give us just an example of something that maybe he saw, maybe looking at you or looking at the group, that was kind of a new perspective for you?
Gotta keep it under wraps. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
But he's got plenty of that.
Plenty. We'll see in the fall.
What's the journey been like for you coming from the SEC and such an academic institution to the West Coast and a school that's got tremendous football tradition, which Vandy obviously didn't really have?
Repeat the question again. I'm sorry, sir.
What's the journey been like for you coming from such an academic institution like Vandy to a highly traditional football school like USC?
I don't think it's really that much of a difference. Football, at the end of the day, is still football. So everything we've been doing throughout the week, through the weekends, is still honed in and centered on football. I wouldn't say that, obviously, there's a difference of culture, which I already commented on, but the game is the game. You can't cheat the game.
Coach Lynn talked about how the priority for spring was going slow and really getting the fundamentals down, really getting the basics down, ice cold, more important than rushing you guys into things. How do you think the process changes now in training camp? Do you feel like you're getting much closer to like what a full game plan would look like, to what the full scope of his defense is at this point?
Right. This is obviously an emphasis where we're really a month away from game time. So kind of got to speed things up where we are, but still, at the end of the day, we still have to hone in on the fundamentals and the techniques of the game because they're more important than anything else. So yes, we take it day by day, trying to focus on the techniques and fundamentals of play calls and whatnot, but you still can't cheat that. It's still going to be a main point of emphasis going into fall camp.
There's always that balance between throwing good stuff at the offense, confusing them, but you want to play fast. You don't want to ever get caught thinking. How has Coach Lynn addressed that balance, and how close do you guys feel you are to that equilibrium point?
Without going into too much detail, I just have the utmost confidence in Coach Lynn's technique and what we're going to be doing every single day, and that starts in practice. That's really his job. I just go out and do whatever play he communicates or tells us to do. But again, I have the utmost confidence in whatever he tells defense to do.
Coach Riley said that the number one thing you guys have improved on is tackling. What goes into that? As a veteran player, what's the difference between the teams that do it well and the teams that struggle with it?
I don't have the statistics, but obviously tackling's almost more important than anything because missed tackles lead to a lot of touchdowns at times, and I've seen that a lot throughout my career, those statistics and those numbers. So this is more on the back end secondary position because obviously for D-line we're so close to the trenches that it's kind of hard at times to not miss tackles when they're running right into you.
Right.
But I've seen them put in that type of work and effort, the linebackers, the secondary, safeties, and a lot of guys coming in and honing on their crafts for that purpose just right there.
There's a lot of emphasis from what we've done, from what we've looked at with Coach Lynn's scheme. There's a lot of emphasis of the way you guys work with the linebackers. There's a lot of, you set it up, and it's their job to kind of come down and finish. What's it been like working with that group and maybe Easton specifically? Right,
that goes hand in hand. And to your credit, Easton as well as Cobb, one of the most passionate guys on our team, and we have to set the table up for them. We work hand in hand. So yeah, it's the chemistry is the word I'm looking for. That's obviously going to be really, really important. It's coming fall camp into fall, and I think, again, I have to say it over and over again, the utmost confidence in our abilities to, go out there and play together.
You're up on the end of your college career. You've got a lot to look back on, but I'm just curious, what do you want to establish this year as part of your legacy? What do you want your teammates to say about you 10 years from now? What do you want to be able to say about yourself and your career?
That I gave it all I had. The reason why I chose in the first place is to maximize my opportunity to reach the NFL, and I believe this is the school and the place to do that. So my last year's ability. I have to give it all I have every single day when it comes to practice field, game plan, or figure out my opponent, whoever I'm facing this upcoming week. I just have to go all in. I want my teammates, my friends to be able to say it. I give it all I have.
And there's a couple fun ones if you don't mind. Who's the best hooper on the football team? You can nominate yourself. I won't take it.
Obviously, I would love to do that, but like we know who's number one. So let's not talk about myself. Saw some of my teammates hooping yesterday. I don't really know. Desmond's a good one. Freshman Desmond. Ant's a good one. Anthony Lucas. I haven't really seen a lot of guys hoop. Devin's pretty good. Those are the ones that I've seen so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone surprised you?
No, we're athletes, and a lot of football players' other passion is basketball.
Yes.
Coincidentally, so I'm not necessarily surprised by the talent I've seen.
And who's at the top of the list for video for college football?
Me, without question.
Have you taken on pretty much all comers at this point?
I played Jamil, and I played him. I'll let him. You can talk to him. I'll let him tell you what I did to him.
Okay. Awesome.